Now Jin-woo is just watching from the sidelines. The S-rank hunters from Japan are about to spar with the S-rank hunters from Korea. You know, a nice friendly fade to build team morale before the raid. Our guy in the black belt can't wait, so he starts charging up. Well, their powerhouse is like, alright, bet. Let's make this a test of strength and see who's really like that. They start off their exchange, while this quick one tries to run up on Spike. He's not really a hand-to-hand fighter, so he activates his magic arrows and fires them at him to keep his distance. He didn't just shoot at him, fired at everybody, cause remember, this is a team battle. The chairman's just watching like this place was built to handle the strongest hunters in the world. With all of them going out like this, you never really know what's gonna happen. Remember, it's not a fight to the death. They're just trying to get them out by grabbing their wrists, touching their back, or knocking them down. But if he continues to transform, he could break somebody's arm just by grabbing it. But this Japanese hunter never had any intentions of following the rules anyway. It's all about survival of the fittest as he goes to whack him from behind. It looks like he gets away before it makes contact. He says he definitely felt bloodlust, but at the same time it was like he backed off. He's saying, fuck, I got nervous again. I'm really not cut out to be a hunter. Well, I don't know if it's his decision making or maybe he's just a wimp. He figures that since this whole exercise is to test their strength against one another, let me lock in for a little bit and show y'all something. Bro is terrified like, damn, I don't even want to be here. He don't care at all and charges him. He starts talking shit saying it's a shame. Your awakening should have made you one of the strongest S-rank hunters there is. To the A-rank hunters just watching, they all look like monsters. And a big impact happens over here. It was our big dude getting slammed, so he's out. Then Spike's over here getting pinned up, so he's out too. So they're all just getting ready to jump his ass. He says, y'all think it's easier to fight me than Shahei-in? Y'all niggas tripping. But she over here putting in work too. Got Shorty going through it. She thought she was just fast, but nah, her movements are crazy. Can't read them or find a pattern at all. We find out that her nickname used to be the Dancer because of how she moves. Since she was embarrassed by it, nobody calls her that. She tries to counter with her own punch, and she just like swipes the air in front of her, knocks her hat off for just getting behind her and touching her back, so she's out. Now she about to go over to help him out. Yo is right behind her trying to sneak her and get her out. Reflexively, she just turns around and starts swinging. Like, just look at this shit. Everybody's amazed because she just threw 15 punches at once. Then she's like, damn, I might have overdone it a bit. Now his face looks crazy the way she was piecing him up. Now they're all like, oh shit, because when he gets mad, he just loses his mind. Going from that hesitant fighter to somebody who can clear B-rank gates on his own. It really looks like he's about to wild out. Ryuji's like, should we stop this shit? Like, I'm just trying to test them. And I don't think we can compensate for the damages that these niggas can cause. Bro is already on one, swinging full force. She was able to dodge it. He just follows up way too fast and is about to kick her in the head like she doesn't have time to move. A big ass shockwave comes from his foot making contact. Come on now, you know Jin-woo can't sit by and watch you punch on his shorty. And your bloodlust is a bit too much for this friendly competition, so I hope you don't mind me stepping in. He like, bro, fuck you, and goes to attack him. He's like, alright, you're in timeout, and just pins him to the ground. Ryuji's like, nah, it ain't no way this nigga is a mage. But Jin-woo admits that Korea's team did lose. They even got Baek-yoon-hoo out while they were jumping him. He says even if he transformed, he wouldn't have been able to beat him. That's when Ryuji cuts in like, yo, your name is Jin-woo, right? How about me and you get a little one-on-one going? At first he's looking serious, and he smiles at the thought of being able to test out his new strength. He's like, bro, is this nigga disrespecting me? Jin-woo can tell without even understanding him that even among S-ranks, he's on a whole nother level. Ryuji, the strongest S-rank hunter from Japan, challenges Jin-woo to a one-on-one. And he's really just hyped at this new opportunity to test out his strength. At the same time, by just looking, he can tell that he's on a whole nother level, even among S-ranks. Jin-woo agrees, but under one condition. Buddy over here fights with all he has, so he feels disrespected like, bro, is this kid being fucking serious? Since they got high-level healers nearby, he says it's fine by me. Everybody's just watching this fight get instigated, and she's just worrying if everything's gonna be alright. He tries to check on her because her nose is extra sensitive to hunters. She like, bro, it's not like I can cover my face during all the battles. Now, aren't you an acquaintance of Jin-woo, so why aren't you stopping this? He says, bro, honestly, my reason is probably the same as yours. Aren't you excited to see what Jin-woo is about to pull out his ass? Since he knows he can continuously grow, it's always going to be a show. But Jin-woo says, alright, let's get started. Before he even finished the word, bro is trying to sneak and take his head off from the jump like, damn, this shit made a shockwave. Jin-woo's like, damn, you ain't even gonna let me finish talking? And he's like, they're calling you a mage? Bullshit. Those nimble and soundless movements, you ain't fooling me with that shit, bro. And I'm about to reveal everything you're hiding. Again, Jin-woo can tell that he's much stronger than the rest of the S-ranks. His attacks aren't anything that he can't avoid, as he's smiling at him and dodging his shit. He like, bro, I know you're not disrespecting me like this. Everybody's still on the side like, shouldn't we stop this shit? They're saying that Jin-woo is holding up pretty well. Cha Hae-in, the only one that can tell that he's really just trolling him and baiting him into throwing more attacks. Choi Jong-in come back like, oh shit, what did I miss? Bro is still trying to take his head off like, damn, you can dodge this too? Was that fucking luck? It's looking like I'm about to lose if I don't go all out, so I'll just change my mind. I'll just fucking kill him. Bro, I thought we was sparring. I thought this was team building. He grazes Jin-woo's cheek as the system tells him that somebody with bloodlust is nearby. He swings again, making a big ass impact. He catches it, thinking to himself that if he lets this continue, he's gonna get another job side quest. He has to kill whoever has the murderous intent. He tells him that if he was any slower, he would have taken his eye out right here. Or Jin-woo could have won this match by just grabbing his wrist. Instead, he grabbed his arm. So he's like, alright, you think you can play with me? He's like, come on now, if I grabbed your wrist, this shit would be over. And I know you don't want that. They both lock all the way in, shifting the air completely. Everybody like, hold up, they're actually bugging. This clash really might destroy the whole building. So these two jump on Jin-woo. This guy grabs him. This guy uses his magic to put like an ice barrier in between them. Let's stop this match now, guys, because Ryuji is literally leading the raid to save Korea and Japan in a couple of days. We won't be able to take responsibility if he gets hurt here. Let's just reschedule all this training shit for another day, and his assistant says okay. He asks, was I tripping? But he's like, nah, you're good. The black belt dude is just mad excited seeing Jin-woo's power and tries to recruit him to his own guild of pretty much all physical fighters. That's when Choi Jong-in interrupts to say that he's a mage. Jin-woo saying to himself that he did go a little overboard. He's happy because now he knows the strength of the other hunters. And also, he learned that none of the hunters can see his soldiers in their shadows. Even the strongest S-rank didn't notice this threat right on him. He starts to talk to the chairman about the Jeju Island raid and his participation. Then it cuts over to Ryuji, who is awfully shook. Bro is in a cold sweat. And it skips again to Baek-yoon-hoo sitting back in his office. Like, damn, Jin-woo really is that nigga. Trying to recruit him is pretty much just a waste of time. Now he's looking at the list of hunters that are going on the Jeju Island raid. And the first thing he notices is that Jin-woo isn't on it. And it cuts over to Ryuji calling somebody saying, hey, there's a talented hunter in South Korea. Now his name is Reiji, but he's like, I'm sure you're still stronger than them. He's like, I don't know, man. His name is Sung Jin-woo. And the guy on the phone says, oh, that's strange. Because out of all the names on the list for the raid, his isn't on there. Ryuji's like, what? That can't be right. There's no way the chairman would form a team without him, but I mean, I guess we already got 16 S-rank hunters, so this shit should be fine. Guess I was worried for nothing, so I'll just call you back when the raid starts. It cuts over to Jeju Island, and the Queen of the Ants is talking, saying we must leave the island. There's nothing left to eat, so the children are eating themselves. There is no more food to support our empire. We can't continue to stay like this. We need an ultimate soldier who will lead the empire, as it shows this one hatchling, and she's talking to it. For the glory of the empire, strike fear into enemies who try to stop us. And he like repeats it from inside the egg. For the glory of the empire, strike fear into the enemies who try and stop us. You must become stronger than anyone else. As he starts to claw his way out, I must become the strongest. When he finally emerges, it just blasts aura in every direction. This is like the whole island being lit up by his birth. Then it cuts over to Jin-woo's house looking a mess, because that's how Jin-ah left it while he was in the demon castle. They're finally coming back home with their mom for the first time. She says, well, it's been 4 years, so y'all want me to help out? We get some wholesome leveling of them all just cleaning up together. While she's cleaning up, she grabs this picture and asks, have you gotten any news about your father in the time that I've been asleep? He says, nah, we haven't heard anything. And it turns out his mom doesn't even know he's a hunter, just like his dad. Wonders what her reaction would be. Even though Jin-woo started making so much money, he never left the apartment that they grew up in, as his mom is still waiting on her man that went missing, in hopes that one day he'll find his way back here. He says his mother still needs him, so this is why he's not participating in the raid. Then the news comes on talking about the ants and how they're evolving like crazy. How at first they were built like regular ants, it's just that they were huge. As time passed, they started to change and change more. And all this is happening within 2 years, to the point where they now walk on 2 legs like they're people and have wings on their back. So they're kind of like humanoid ants. Chimera ant arc all over again. They're all having a discussion about the raid that's going to take place, speaking on the courageous hunters that are going to participate. That Sung Jin-woo, the latest S-rank, isn't on the list. And they start bashing him, saying just because he's an S-rank, that doesn't mean his personality is going to change. Once an E-rank, always an E-rank. And that he pissed himself and ran away. That it's an embarrassment to Korea that he's not going to help out. Even the retired hunter that said he wasn't fucking with it came back to help. Jin-woo not participating is just shameful. He doesn't really care about all this yapping. He's just worried about how this is going to affect his little sister. He doesn't want people going up to her and bothering her. But then he gets a call from Jin-ho saying that he got a new spot spot and to pull up. They finally got an office to start their guild in. Jin-woo's like, don't you think it's too big? Cause it's just us two for now. He's like, nah bro, we need at least 3 people to start the guild. So Jin-woo has to recruit 1 more hunter. Jin-ho says that there was some foreigner walking around speaking English looking for him, saying that they'll be in Korea for a little while and that they hope Jin-woo reaches out. But then he senses something and says, hold up, I gotta go home real quick. He just teleports, swapping with one of his shadows. It cuts to some woman being held in an alley. And you know how many people have died here, right? But she's just begging, please don't kill me. He's like, this is why I love this neighborhood. Somebody else says, right? I love this neighborhood too. Well, I'm curious, why do you do these things? He's like, come on, bro, what are you about to preach to me or something? But if I had to give it a reason, I'd say it's for the love of the game. This shit is just fun. He attacks Jin-woo with his knife, and if I see something weaker than me, then I just want to mess with it for real. Jin-woo's like, oh really? I know that feeling too. It shows the only thing his knife did was cut his fucking shirt. Bro, once you succumb to those feelings, it's not gonna be easy to go back to the way you were before, as he cuts his leg and I think his Achilles. He tells the girl it's getting dark, so it's best for you to go home now. She quickly just runs off, and Jin-woo tells him that before midnight, you better turn yourself in. That's if you want to live, because he put one of the orcs in his shadow and told him that if he doesn't do it by midnight, he can just kill him on the spot. And look at how happy this nigga is. Yes, I get to murder. But he says, I hope you live, because I'm not too sure how patient a high orc is. He walks away thinking about the raid that starts tomorrow. It cuts over to the hunters flying in on a helicopter. Now it's the day of the raid, and the hunters' forces are pulling up deep. Got like 2 destroyer ships and like 20 other boats right behind it. They locked and loaded, and they're not playing. This A-rank hunter we've already met that's a part of the team that's surrounding the island instead of going on it, showing everybody mobilizing for battle and their comrades wishing them a safe return. Really, they are about to go off to war with these fucking ants. But even all the hunters that didn't go on the raid were still mobilized, because even if the raid is successful, they don't want to let any stray ants get into the mainland. So a bunch of teams were formed with B-rank hunters leading them. They show us with Joo-hee and Mr. Song that hunters are even coming out of retirement for this. A total of 5,000 hunters are helping defend the mainland. That's still only 1/10 of the amount of awakened hunters that live in this country. So it's 50,000 hunters here and only 5,000 are helping out. That's actually kind of crazy. But cuts over to the helicopter that's heading towards the island. This guy who's normally a cameraman is actually a part of the raid. He's going to be broadcasting the whole thing on live TV, but it's going to be on a 10-second delay so they can edit anything out if they need to. He's just concerned, like, what is the chairman thinking letting this regular guy just come with us to record? Turns out he's actually an A-rank hunter. It's just that his abilities aren't really fit for raiding dungeons. He just got a regular job as a cameraman and he's a hunter on the side. So this isn't the first time he's been on a raid and recorded what's happened. But none of those situations really scale to the severity of this one. It shows him like shaking. He is nervous. They reassure him because the chairman is reliable and probably planned everything out thoroughly. And on top of all that, people want revenge against the island and the ants of the losses from the last failed raid. And he's like, well, more specifically, if we were to fail this time, it might be the end for Korea. People are in dire need of a hero right now. Then it shows the first dude that deadass said he was not going at all. Bro says, I'm surprised you came. He's like, bro, I just knew you'd be the first one to die if I wasn't here to heal you. You the type to just run in head first, and everybody just starts laughing. Now Shahae-in interrupts, and of course it's to ask about Jin-woo. Have you gotten in contact with Jin-woo? He just says, nah, why? She just tries to play it off like she didn't check hard as shit for him just now. Now they're looking out the windows as the raid is finally about to start. It shows the bro who didn't want to come is still shaking and nervous. It cuts over to Ryuji. I'm not gonna lie, you look cold as shit with that red sword. They've arrived on the upper district of the island. Shit looked like a ghost town. But then they find some corpses of the ants and figure, damn, were they eating themselves? Then he talks into his headset for his team and says respond in order. Of course, he's Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. He tells them all to release it now. It looks like they all start charging up aura. They're all stationed on different points of the island, so this shit looks crazy. They could feel it on the plane the instant it happened. And immediately, swarms of ants start flying out of the mountain. They start going straight for the helicopter. He's like, don't mind if I do. Throws a calm little flame spear. He had to give him an extra frame because max aura, and he hits all 3 of them. He says that's impressive, but nah, not really. They all just ate it and kept coming, but it was just as he thought. He's like, all right, hold on to something. The helicopter about to shake a little bit. Like he shot out a jet engine of fire. Masenko, ha! just deletes all of them. He notices quick that the ants are much different than the last time he was here. They still have a good resistance, so he has to focus hard on his flames. He just jumps out the plane with his hands in his pockets and using the fire to fly. This shit is so cool. Says, I'm gonna go scope out how strong these guys are. Now, bro's worried if he's gonna be alright, but she says he'll be fine because this is literally the best option for him. The ability works best against multiple targets as he lands on the ground. He got the eyes and glasses shit like, yo, I can feel the aura through the panels. I'm not gonna lie, this is better than Fire Fist Ace because he's just standing here emanating flame, just deleting them without lifting a finger. As he says, I haven't played with ants for a while. Back when he was a kid, he used to use his ability to burn them. They would make like crackling noises. As he continues this flaming onslaught, the only noises I hear now are loud explosions. And he says, all right, it's safe for y'all to come down now. Bro just laughing like, haha, that shit was crazy. Now they gotta use their narrow time frame that the ants are distracted to take out the queen. They all jump out the plane. Did they jack this from JJK or did JJK jack this? Who stole this? It cuts over to one of the destroyers. They're about to activate the jamming signal. It shows this satellite whirring and targeting the ants' island. It works immediately, so now the ants can't communicate with the queen for a while, so they can't receive the message if she was to call for them. This ant gets crushed and bro's acting scared. She's like, come on, yo, if you don't get used to this, you're gonna end up dying. I'm not gonna lie, this little team is actually cool. They got their one wild boy just running through the ants having the time of his life. The guy with the mask is just using his ice to take him out easily. Then they all look over at the mountain and it looked like fireworks is going off. It shows that Choi Jong-in is putting up a flame shield so none of the ants could come back to help the queen. So now he's trying to find a tunnel that leads to her and he just summons a bunch of fireballs before sending them flying in every direction. Now he's like, bro, this is fucking dangerous. You got fire flying around me and shit. Choi Jong-in explains that this place is like a labyrinth. If we go down a random path, we'll just end up right where we started. It's like all these fireballs that keep flying around. But the way inside will probably be through a deep tunnel that doesn't show any signs of explosion. Well, it looks like he was right. Yo's like, damn, it's mad reassuring riding with this nigga. They go in and head for the queen. And it cuts to Jin-woo, who just finished his daily 10K run. He's noticing that the park is even more empty than usual, so he figures it has something to do with the island's broadcast. They're dead-ass live streaming it, so a lot of people are definitely watching. He just figures it'll be alright because he knows the level of hunters they have. Everything will be fine if it all goes according to plan. It all goes according to plan. They are making their way closer to the queen, taking out these royal guards that are bigger than the regular ants. It looks like their eyes have evolved to see better in these dark tunnels. It should make things easier for Mr. Fireman over here. Now he starts to wonder if the queen is even here, like maybe she betrayed the soldiers and ran away by herself, but he's like, come on bro, they're just fucking ants. They're on an island, like there's nowhere to run. The cameraman is just like, damn, it's kind of dark. I don't even know if I can see on the recording. Choi Jong-in is like, hold up, look, we're not at the queen and her guards, but the spawning ground. This definitely means that she's nearby. He's like, all right, I'm about to torch this shit, but she says, wait. Points out this hatched egg that looks much bigger than the others. Here it is in the photo all the way in the back, like, yeah, it is bigger than the rest. And the guy that didn't want to come is like, oh, fuck, that can't be an egg. No way. What the fuck hatched out of that? His bro grabs his shoulder like, remember, our goal is to kill the queen. Just forget about everything else. I don't blame you for being so shook because these monsters are fucking crazy. It cuts back over to the Japanese hunters and she says, bro, you're a hot mess. He's just completely covered in blood and guts. Saying he killed about 30 of them, but they managed to get him in the shoulder. She's like, all right, I'll heal you, but there's a price for it. I think I have something in mind I want that's not money. Now, I'm pretty sure she's trying to get cracked. She see him with his shirt off going crazy on the ants like she trying to get crushed. He's like, come on, yo, I know it's not money. You literally make more than me. Now hurry it up. More of the ants are coming. Just tell me what you want. As he's saying that, her head is just gone. Mid-conversation, her head is just gone. Her body starts to fall to the ground. So he screams that they're nearby and to get ready. But something is on demon time right now. And oof. GG in the chat. The last dude yells and charges for him. He gets off a swing at it, but it's just gone. And then so is his head. Like 3 decapitations in 3 seconds is actually fucking crazy. Then it cuts back to Korea's hunters approaching the queen's chambers. Each of the royal guards is deadass a S rank in its own respect. In the end, even though they're powerful, they're still just ants. Like humans, they're not using a wide variety of attacks and tactics. They're pretty much just trying to attack him head on. So he blocks it with the shield and Sha Yin flips over the top and stabs it on the head. Then she puts her feet on the blade and rides it down its back like a surfboard. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was fucking hard. And she just slashes right through the other one's head. She still says they're tougher than she thought they would be. Bro is just glad there aren't that many of them. Bro that didn't want to come says, don't worry, I'm here to back you up. I guess you aren't always a scaredy cat, huh? He crushes the head of this one, reminding everybody that they can still move unless you finish them for good. They're saying the ones they just killed seem like they're from an older generation. There's probably a whole nother gang of guards waiting for them. He's like, alright, well, I better hook y'all up then. Just starts boosting up everybody's stats. They don't just feel refreshed, they feel like they could take on a bunch of beasts by themselves and win. That's how they need to feel because the ant's pulling up deep as we speak. The healer says, I'll get a few of them to get away from you guys. He says, do you really think I'm crazy enough to rely on a healer? Just sit back and watch how it's done. But cuts to the Japanese hunters trying to link up with the rest of their team. They find a bunch of the ants' corpses, so it looks like they were doing their job, but that's when he notices the bloody glasses. Then, of course, they see 3 headless bodies. Bro with the mask is just so disgusted, he takes it off and throws up immediately, saying he smelled something rotten that he's never experienced before. It shows this like aura coming out from the forest. Buddy just starts tweaking and goes on full self-defense mode with his ice magic, changing the landscape with that shit. He entombed himself in ice to protect himself, but whatever it is just slashes through it. And yes, GG's for him too.